Welcome to my views and news. Some new stories from Ethiopia and Eritrea. Firstly, is Eritrea considering purchase of weapons from Russia? Was Isaias Afwerki's recent visit to Russia was about purchase of weapons? Eritrean ambassador to Russia was interviewed by a Russian news source a few hours ago, and there he spoke about likely arm purchase by Eritrea from Russia. Secondly, viewers, yesterday the Patriarch appointed 9 bishops, 7 to Oromia, 2 to other parts of Ethiopia. A few days ago, Synod recommended this appointment, and yesterday the Patriarch formally approved the appointment. Though this appointment is being rejected by some groups in Oromia, and they say that they want 26 who were appointed a few months ago by a trio of 26 bishops, who were appointed a few days ago by 3 archbishops. So we'll see if these 9 will be able to assume charge in Rome or not. But before that, some church elders believe that this appointment of 9 bishops was not done on merit. Abune Abraham is a general manager of the church. He spoke yesterday. He said, we were forced to appoint the wrong ones. Alarming statement from a top church archbishop. We have details of his statement. And thirdly, viewers, fundraising for Fano in the US ongoing. Last night, a program was organized in Seattle, Washington. Around $30,000 were raised. EOTC journalists were there too, who delivered speeches. There they spoke about the need of armed movement to ensure the protection of Amhara people. I think entry ticket price was around $50. Details for you of this fundraising program organized a few hours ago in Seattle. Firstly, viewers, is Eritrea planning to acquire more weapons from Russia? Yes. Answer seems to be yes, because Isaias Afwerki, Eritrean president, visited China and Russia a few weeks ago. His visit of China was mainly about economic cooperation, industrial cooperation. He wants China to invest, to play its part in the revival of Massawa industrial zones. But his visit to Russia was not about economic cooperation. Though when he was in Russia, he spoke in detail about need for new world order. And when he was in China, he spoke about the new world order as well. Obviously, he wants the two countries and others to form a separate bloc, economic bloc, industrial bloc, military bloc against alleged US ambitions, against US world order. Some talks were held between Isaias Afwerki and Russian President Putin in May about purchase of weapons. It was partially confirmed by Eritrean ambassador to Russia. Petros Sigai is the name of Eritrean ambassador to Russia. He was interviewed by RIA Novosti, a Russian news source. The journalist asked questions, the interviewer asked questions about Russia-Eritrea cooperation. Petros firstly confirmed that Isaias Afwerki would attend Russia-Africa summit at the end of this month in Russia. Second Russia-Africa summit will be held. US also held US-Africa summit earlier this year, I think. Russia wants African leadership to attend this summit, and Russian foreign minister visited African countries a few weeks ago, a few months ago. He visited Eritrea too. Russian diplomats busy too. They want to make this summit a success. They want to show to the West that Africa stands with Russia. So they want all African leaders to attend the summit, not second category or third category representatives. That is why Isaias Afwerki is definitely going to visit Russia. Reportedly, Burhan could visit Russia too, though there is war in Sudan, but Sudanese embassy in Russia says it is making preparation for Burhan's arrival. So maybe summit in the last week of this month, July. So Petros confirmed that Isaias Afwerki will visit Russia to attend Russia-Africa summit. And secondly, the interviewer asked questions about military cooperation, security cooperation, about purchase of weapons, that is Eritrea going to purchase more weapons from Russia. By the way, most of military hardware being used by Eritrean military is Russian. It's not something new. Eritrea has been purchasing weapons from Russia. Russia is weapon supplier for Eritrea because Eritrea has been under sanctions from US, from West. So it mainly relied on Russian weaponry. The Eritrean ambassador to Russia, Petros Segai, did not confirm that Eritrea was going to purchase weapons from Russia. At the same time, he did not deny. He said that no major contracts have been signed, but supplies will be discussed. So it means that definitely Isaias Afwerki and Putin, they discussed purchase of weapons, sale of weapons. Energy cooperation came under discussion too. Russia was invited to explore oil in Eritrea. Russia is one of the biggest oil producers. Russians have this skill. But main agenda of Isaias Afwerki's visit mainly seems to be acquisition of arms. He wants to acquire more weapons. Now, question is which types of weapons. Russia is not known for having quality combat drones, and Africa is mostly trying to get drones. We have seen several African countries in talks with Turkey. Some have purchased Turkish drones. Ethiopia has purchased, Somalia too, I think Sudan as well, and some other African countries too. Eritrea, we could not confirm any engagement between Eritrea and Turkey about purchase of drones. Russia does not produce quality combat drones. It means that Russia wants to buy conventional weapons, maybe artillery pieces, tanks, weapons for its infantry. But we'll try to find out more. So far, reportedly, issue of arms sales came under discussions, and Eritrea is interested in purchase of more weapons from Russia. Secondly, viewers, Abune Abraham, the Archbishop General Manager of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, is from the Amhara region, has delivered a speech which shows that there are serious splits within the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. The church is under serious pressure. Abune Abraham spoke about appointment of 9 bishops appointed this month by the synod. Synod recommended the appointment, and the patriarch yesterday at a ceremony approved the appointment of the 9 bishops. Was this appointment done on merit, or under pressure? Because we know that this year three archbishops unilaterally appointed some bishops to Oromia without consultation from the main church. Main church rejected that appointment, and that led to start of a conflict within the church. The church accused the government that government was trying to back a breakaway faction based in Oromia. Later, government mediated PM Abiy, and an agreement was signed between the breakaway faction and the main church. And the agreement states that bishops from Oromia will, all ethnicity, members of all ethnicity, bishops of all ethnicity, they'll be considered, and that Fano Oromo language will also be used for church services, etc. So, the issue was resolved according to the government and the church, but basically it is unresolved. Because the recent appointment of 9 bishops is now being criticized by Abune Abraham. He is part of the church, general manager of the church. At a speech yesterday, he said, we are forced to appoint wrong ones under pressure. Why? Because we want to avert a disaster. He is implying that church is in danger. Church unity is in danger. So, in order to keep the church united, the church has been forced to make compromises. These 9 bishops are not, they have not been elected on merit. Not all of them, there could be a few who have been appointed just because of their ethnicity, it seems. Did not name anyone, but he is clearly implying that PM Abiy is putting pressure upon the church. Some say he said that PM, under the directive of the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, this appointment has been made. I could not find this part of his speech. But he clearly said that we appointed the wrong ones, and because we were forced to do, that is why we appointed them. And he said that church does not want a new disaster. Let's hope that church stays united, and this move leads to unity of the church. So, it cannot be clearer now than this that Abune Abraham was not on board. Maybe Abune Petros was not on board, the 2 archbishops from the Amhara region, about the new appointment of 9 bishops. It means that the other faction, Serios, Xenomarcos, Evastortius, they managed to get some people of the choice appointed as bishops to Oromia. Ethnicity is now a consideration. The breakaway faction wants to ensure that Oromo bishops are appointed to Oromia. Church says ethnicity has no role when it comes to analyzing a candidate. His ethnicity does not matter. What matters is his qualification. Is he qualified to be a bishop, to be a priest? But the breakaway faction, which is not a breakaway faction now, it is part of the church. This Oromia faction says that those who can speak a Fano Oromo, who are Oromos, pure Oromos, they should be appointed to the Oromia region, to diocese. Let's see what happens. Will the 7 appointed to Oromia be able to assume charge? We'll see. Still, we are seeing some protests against these appointments. People want the 26 appointed a few months ago to assume charge. Oromia is a challenge for the church, and Tigray is a greater challenge, which announced its independence to some extent yesterday when it elected 10 bishops, 5 to local, 5 to foreign dioceses. Thirdly, viewers, Ethio 360 and other Amhara activists are continuing their fundraising campaigns for Fano. It seems Fano isn't going to face shortage of money now. A few days ago, at a program, around 400,000 US dollar were raised in just 2 hours. And yesterday, on the 16th of July, in Seattle, a fundraising program was held, attended by Haptamo Ayalio, Ethio 360 journalist, Tingeto Gebrisadik, who is an Amhara scholar, an artist was there too, Shimalis Abira. People spoke there, and they said that Amharas are in danger. They are being massacred, displaced, killed. And important thing is that they said negotiation is not a solution now. Solution is war. Solution is removal of the powers which are killing the Amhara people. It's very alarming words. So the diaspora believes that there is no point in negotiations. By the way, the Ethiopian government has not offered any negotiations to Fano, but Fano supporters, diaspora members are against negotiations too. Entry ticket price was $50. You can see a picture of an entry ticket, and around 400 to 500 people attended this program, and around 30,000 US dollars were raised. Haptamo Ayalio sold his book too at this program. The price of the book is 20 US dollars. And the speakers at the program said that this money would go to all Fano factions, that all Fano factions are united. They mentioned Skandar too, that Skandar and other Skandar-led and other Fano factions are united. All are fighting to protect Amhara people. That is why people should support this Amhara struggle. They should support Fano factions. We don't know if this money will reach Fano fighters or not, or how will this money reach Fano fighters. But the organizer said that in coming days they'll organize big fundraising programs in big cities of the US. It's just US, Canada is there, Europe is too, there too. It means that in coming days we could see tens of thousands of US dollars raised for Fano fighters. That is why we're seeing that new Fano platforms are emerging, claiming to be representatives of Fano factions. Now money is coming into play. How will this money be transferred? Will it be transferred in the form of cash, in the form of logistics, in the form of support? We'll see. But in the US, fundraising campaigns for Fano are being seen regularly now. I thank you for watching.